But so with that being said, what are my expectations of Liberty University?
Tell me what Liberty is all about.
Training champions for Christ.
So a lot of people like the commons.
The tea on the dorms.
I mean, I know some people that live there, but there's just some stereotypes that you probably don't want to live there.
Yes, the food, there's many different options on campus, but I would totally recommend B+ Swipe.
The rot really depends on what you get, alright? The ice cream is fire. The cookies are fire. The omelets are fire. The cereal is fire, even though it's just cereal.
The best places to study for me sometimes is either in my room because I can get more done, or my friends and I will get a study room.
Professors actually care.
They give their personal phone numbers out in case you ever get into a bad...
You may be seated. I am thrilled to be here. Amen. Glory to God. Liberty University.
So, what is convo?
So what is combo?
Convocation.
What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Christina. If you're new here and this is the very first video you're watching of mine, you're in the middle of my series called Welcome to Liberty University. There is one episode before this and it's called The Introduction to Liberty University. So watch that first because that talks all about the dorms, the best and worst place to live and all the tea in between. We talk about convocation and campus community night and a bunch of other things, and you also get to meet everyone in the documentary. This episode is going to be the juicy stuff, the real stuff that y'all signed up for. We're talking about friends, different friend groups, is LU cliquey, how to make friends, and we're talking about dating and ring by spring. And yeah, so there is going to be one more episode. There's going to be a part 3 and that will conclude everything. If y'all want to be updated on when that's coming out and like the whole timeline of everything, follow me on Instagram because I definitely post updates about So follow me on Instagram because I definitely post updates all about that. My Instagram is clark.christina. And without further ado, I hope y'all like the video and let's get into it. Okay, so it's currently August 3rd, 2020. It's 9:06 in the morning with Mama Clark. And today is Experience LU Day. I think basically what this is Experience LU is a tour of the campus. I think getting to see like mock dorms and things like that. Maybe some free food. Lunch. I'm sure all your questions get answered. You take a tour of the different buildings. I'm not sure if there's going to be certain regulations because of the whole, Miss Rona thing, but I think it's just a guided overview of the campus. You get to experience the feel of being a Flame student. Who doesn't want that? Go Flames! But we are on our way there. It's 9:10, but the experience, the tour, everything starts at 10 o'clock. Props to me for taking a while to get ready, and we were supposed to leave at 8, but you know how it be sometimes. So we're just gonna see what happens.
My name's Mackenzie. Do I say my last name? I don't like how you're looking at it. I don't want to see you. Okay, anyway. My name's Mackenzie Kovach. I'm a sophomore here at Liberty. It's my first year. 21 years old. I was supposed to be a senior this year, but I transferred to Liberty and changed my major to respiratory therapy, so yeah.
Hey guys, I'm Daniel, I'm 19 and I'm a sophomore here at Liberty University. I'm currently majoring in business administration. I love sports, I love hanging out with my friends. I like The Office, Parks and Rec. Wow, I have a really boring life. Yeah, so Christina asked me to do this video for her channel and I was like, yeah, let's do it. So can't wait to watch myself on here. Hi, future Dan.
Good old Daniel.
Anyway.
Different clubs you can join.
The clubs.
I didn't really join a club my freshman year.
Honestly,
I don't really know of different clubs you can join because I just didn't really hear any. I'm sure there were, but I just didn't really hear about any.
And I'm not exactly sure what kind of clubs are on campus.
The only clubs that I do know that they definitely have are a student government club. They also have a couple dance teams. There's like a hip hop one. There's a lyrical, more lyrical one that does like dance competitions and lunch work and stuff. And then there's also another one that dances at football and basketball games.
I know there's an LGBTQ club and a nursing club, and
the other clubs that I know that they have is clubs for your major, and your professors will probably tell you about them as soon as you get into your major classes and stuff, and I highly suggest that you join those because then you'll get to be closer with your professor for one, as well as meet other people in your major that you can study with.
I'm pretty sure there's a website that you can look on. You could start your own club if you would like to. If you have, my sister did that. If you have a bunch of friends who like to play board games, start a board game club, you know?
There's a lot of club sports. Intramural sports are huge. They're huge at our school.
But I did hear a lot about intramural sport. Intramural? I can't talk. Sports. I wish I would have joined those my first semester there, but I didn't. My friends did though, and they said it was a lot of fun, and people go to the games, so it's like a real team, honestly. You have practice, so I mean.
The LU experience technically just ended. There's another hour left, but we're not going to one of the buildings, natural sciences, because it is pouring rain. Like, look at this. That was not cool. That was not fun. That was not planned. Let's talk about our experience at Experience LU. It was pretty fun. Everything was so well put together. We walked into the Welcome Center. I think it's like the Hancock Welcome Center. And we just told them like what tour we were there for, what time, and then they divided us according to what we signed up for. We were the 10 o'clock. I know that there were earlier tours and that there were also, I think there was one tour that was after, that was like 10:30. How the day went was we all were gathered into a room. There was a little bit of a video presentation. Some people talked, the tour guides talked, and then we went on our way. We toured the campus. It was really cool because we got to see the inside of a few different dorms. Like we went into the Hill, we went into Commons 2, we saw what the apartments looked like in Campus East, and I think it really gave me some direction on where I want to go, and I'm thinking I'm gonna go more towards Campus East than Commons, which is crazy. I know, because that is so against what everyone does at Liberty.
I'm in Commons 1 right now. I feel so out of place. I'm an East baby.
But granted, like, I'm not a freshman, and I don't know. I think being a junior, it makes things a little different, and I just I want a little bit more space. Having the apartment style.
Basically like apartment style housing.
If you want to live in an apartment style, then I would definitely live in East.
It is apartment style,
and it's an apartment style, which is very fun.
Is amazing. So I don't know. I think I might go towards that. You'll know. You'll find out. Yeah. So we didn't go into the Vine Center. We went into a theater. I don't know like what it was called. I'm not good at this. We went into a theater room. That was really cool, and they talked about convocation in there. We saw what the gym looks like, the fitness areas, like we saw the soccer fields, the indoor soccer fields, we saw the basketball courts, we saw the workout machines, everything like that. Yeah, there was a lot that happened, and we got so much free food. They gave us fruit at first with some water, and then they had Einstein bagels for us and some water, and then they ended it with Chick-fil-A, which you can't go wrong with Chick-fil-A. But I ended up getting the salad because I am vegetarian. Towards the end, we met with an academic advisor. I met with Ben. Ben was super cool. Shout out to Ben. We talked with him. We made sure my schedule was a-okay. I had everything done in the enrollment process. You have the opportunity to go to your college. College meaning like where your major falls under. You can go to whatever college you belong to, and you can meet the faculty, you can meet the staff, all the professors, make connections. Right now we're currently on Titanic 2, so we're not gonna pursue that option today, but I'm sure I will be back. I'm exhausted. I will say I am getting a little bit more anxious for school to start up, because I feel like everyone just has this really good group of friends. Everyone knows everyone, and I don't know, I just feel like I'm not going to be able to make those connections, or like I'm going to be friendless, which it might be stupid, to think about and to worry about, but I don't know, seeing how everyone else has really good connections and I don't, I think it just makes me worried a little bit. One of the things that I always talk about with my friends is that I know the social norms here at ODU, but I have no idea what it's like at Liberty, and I feel like it's really intimidating because like you don't know what people are gonna be like. Are people gonna be nice? Is there gonna be like a hierarchy of people and you have to deal with some unpleasant personalities, or you know what I mean? And I think I'm very much overthinking it. I mean, I don't know what I'm walking into. Next few things are gonna be about the social life. Now, is LU cliquey? Like, are people nice?
Do I believe Liberty is cliquey? It's a great question.
It depends on, I feel like, almost where you live.
There's definitely cliques on halls.
I mean, you're gonna have your hall friends, and then you're gonna have your hall friend group. I guess the people that you hang out with all the time. Like, I have a group of guys. There's like five or six of us, and a couple of girls that were just like really close friends. And like, I'm friends with all my people in my hall from last year, but I probably won't like hang out with them every day.
People will find their groups of people very fast. Places like East, it's almost like a community, which is very cool. You'll see groups around campus, but there's some groups that are very cliquey, but then there's others that always welcome new people. So you'll get a best of both worlds with that.
Do you believe LU is cliquey, or there's a hierarchy on campus? Absolutely not.
So I don't personally think that LU is very cliquey.
Not really. I mean, I think you're gonna have those people that are with a friend group and they don't want to go outside that friend group.
LU has some certain friend groups.
Everyone has their own friend groups at LU. I think that's just like anywhere you go.
I think that's everywhere.
I think that anywhere you go where there's 15,000 people, you're always gonna find cliques. Like, that's just inevitable. I think Liberty as a whole is not cliquey. Everyone is really nice.
But with that being said, I think at Liberty, everyone's pretty open to, like, if your friend group is doing something and someone really wanted to tag along, they wouldn't say that they couldn't.
I really don't see anyone not being allowed to like enter a friend group.
But the one best thing about Liberty is that everyone's willing to talk, everyone's willing to meet new people. You're always going to meet someone and no one's ever going to look down on you or like look up. Like, there's no hierarchy really.
I don't think that there's a hierarchy on campus either.
Or that there's like some kind of hierarchy on campus.
So only being here a couple of weeks, I feel like...
I do think LU has cliques, but like not the cliquey high school, like...
It's not as cliquey as like high school might be.
This is your clique and we're not letting anybody else in it. Like, if somebody met somebody new and brought them into the group, everybody was so nice and like welcoming, and even like people you don't know will smile and say hi, like, how are you today? Like,
but I feel like there definitely are like different groups of people on campus, and I feel like there is a hierarchy. Like,
if you're a quiet person and you're an introvert, you might have to put yourself out there a little bit more. But overall, I don't think Liberty's, like, I wouldn't say, oh, Liberty, oh, that's a cliquey school. But obviously there will be cliques wherever you go.
There's definitely is a lot of different groups, especially being like a transfer student. Like, the first week of school, like, you see people like running up to each other, like hugging, that have like known each other forever. And like, as nice as people are here, like, and want to meet you, like, I feel like they definitely like go towards their own crowd.
I will say the only thing that is remotely close to that, and this is the tea, because from my experience and just how I see things on campus, people who are like in leadership positions or like the Liberty Worship Team, Liberty Worship Collective.
Talking about the worship collective, what if I try out for it?
No, Mama Kate really wants you to try out. Like, she brought it up again today.
I mean, the Worship Collective, they are all very well known throughout campus.
Great. I love them. They're awesome. They lead worship during convocation. If you don't know what that is, it's called the Liberty Worship Collective.
But I mean, they're also on stage every week performing worship for us.
If I were to say that there is a clique on campus, it would be, I hope I don't get in trouble for that. If you're part of the Liberty Worship Collective and you're watching this, I love you, you're great. I'm just telling it like it is, telling it how I see it, how I see people hanging out on campus. It's like groups of like, oh, they're Liberty worship people. And I'm sure they're not intending to do that, but that is the only like remotely like close thing that I would say as to like a hierarchy or cliques or whatever.
I know sometimes people can assume that like people in the worship collective, D1 sports,
I think that the football players and hockey players sometimes are held to like looked at differently and a little bit. But I think that's at every college you go to. They're not mean. You find like athletes there all the time that are super nice and super sweet and like talk to you or whatever, but they're definitely like elevated. I don't think there's like a hierarchy in a bad way.
just things like that are like above everyone else, but they're really not. They're like super down to earth if you actually get to know them. I have gotten to know like a lot of people that are either in like the collective or like sports or whatever, and they're not any different from anybody else on campus.
But you can just like feel that some people are like more like elite.
There's something called the Liberty Elite. It's just those people that have like high social media platforms, that have like a YouTube channel, they are or have like 100 some subscribers or something like that, or just popular on like Instagram or stuff like that. Like they're the Liberty Elite, but they're no different than any of us. Like I have friends that are considered Liberty Elite. They're chilling.
That, you know, someone's better than another person. I think we all just kind of look at each other with mutual respect. Most of us are Christians and we're supposed to respect each other regardless if we are Christian or not. We're just, as our duty as Christians, we are supposed to respect one another for who they are no matter what.
They're just like anyone else. There's no hierarchy. Everyone's the same. Everyone's willing to talk to each other. Everyone's willing to hang out. It's a really cool place to be.
You know, everyone's pretty equal. Everyone's pretty chill here at Liberty.
What are different friend groups like, or what are the different types of people like?
So there's like the trendy, I almost want to say like popular, the high school clique, like the high school group. And there's just a bunch of girls and like guys, and like they think that they rule the school low-key. They just give off that vibe to me. I don't know why, but they do. But then there's like the trends, like the trendy people. There's like the skater type people. You got the skater boys. There'll be skater boys skating on campus. It's kind of cool.
I'm not really big into friend groups, but I do have certain people that I hang out with for certain things. When I'm at campus community, I like to hang out with some of my other CGLs. My brother Dorm RS is really close with me this past semester. You really hang out with different people for all different things, so.
But I will say, so different friend groups, obviously there's going to be different friend groups formed based on your interests. There is like the stereotype that there's a ton of homeschoolers at Liberty, which there is.
Before I came to Liberty, I assumed there would be like, it kind of sounds bad, but like the super like Christian people, like super religious kind of people. But being here, I guess, I just kind of, like there are definitely different groups you can see on campus, even being here for like a short time. I feel like the freshmen like tend to get along like really well, like really fast, and like cling together. There's definitely some people that are here just because their parents paid for their school, or they don't really want to be here. There's people that love being here, like the kind of person, like people that I get along with, I guess, more like we love Jesus, but we also love to have fun, you know.
Friend groups that are with more of the famous people on campus
are kind of like more important people on campus, like that everybody knows of, like whether it's like the worship collective kids or like just like some girls I've seen on Instagram that have like tons of followers, and I feel like they're like famous like at Liberty.
And then you have not as famous people that hang out with each other. I guess you could call that a clique, but really you're kind of famous because you're in that friend group with other famous people, so you just kind of get famous.
You have like different people like just like different things. Like some people like to play music and that's what they want to do is go to the music hall, or like athletes or people who did like sports or like going to the gym, hang out together. And you've just honestly got like a little bit of everybody, of like the artistic people and or people who are like super fashion and like forward and just want to like look around and stuff. The type of person you are, you'll find somebody else that's like you.
There's just a bunch of different people, and the only difference in that is where they're from. You can tell like what clothes they wear, like the styles that they are, the way they talk. That's the only difference.
You get almost every type of style and group that like on campus,
So meeting people.
When you're a freshman or a transfer student, you'll probably get thrown into at least one group chat of other freshmen or transfer students. Through that, you kind of make your first friends before you even get on campus. The problem with that was I didn't bother going to any of the on-campus events, really.
Good question. Because because this was definitely something I was worried about, like transferring in, especially after like the first week when I saw people like seeing their old friends and stuff. Me and my roommate, she's a freshman, and she was kind of like seeing the same thing. We were like, are we gonna find like our group of people?
Especially as us being transfer students, like, are we gonna make friends?
Everybody is on the same boat as you are. Like, yes, you have the people that are returning who know their friends, but you still have those people who want to make new friends too.
The best ways to make friends at Liberty, I think your friend group is what you make it. You know, you're open to be friends with literally anyone you want on campus. So if you want a diverse group, if you want to be friends with like 17-year-olds and 22-year-olds, and you know, if you want a diverse friend group, you have to be the one to make it yourself.
So it's definitely a stress thing when you're like a new student. I think that Liberty does a good job of like having a ton of events and things like where you can meet people. We had like a block party, even with COVID, you know, it's a little different, but they still gave us a lot of opportunities. Definitely just like meeting people and then meeting their friends.
Find that super extroverted person to talk to, start out with them, and gradually work your way down into asking to tag along with other groups of people if you don't like that super extroverted person.
Which is kind of how like I met most of my friends, through Christina. She ended up living in East, which is the apartment style dorm. So her two roommates, Gabby and Mama Kay.
Hello, everybody. You got some fun pillows up there, girlfriend.
Which is
Mama Kay.
Kirsten in this video. You're like, hi guys, welcome to the series.
Mama Kate.
This is so stinky. The more you meet people, the more you meet people. It sounds like stupid, but like we met even more friends like through Gabby, who has already been here last year, and through Mama Kay, who was here last year. So definitely if you're a new student, don't be nervous if you're not making friends right away, because once you like meet one person, like you're gonna meet like a ton of people. So
Okay, I think one thing that's really cool about being here is that when you meet someone and you become friends and you meet their friends, everyone is very much accepting and people click very well. Because I met Kenzie with Mama Madison. We went to bingo night together, and Kenzie hadn't met my roommates yet, and I was also meeting Daniel and Pete, which Peter's in this video. Follow him on TikTok, that's how I yeah, so Peter never sent me the rest of his videos, so he's only in part 1. He's not in this video, but still gonna give him that shameless plug because, you know, we're pals, we're amigos, and I'm also exposing him right now. Okay, carry on. Anyways, so I didn't know how everyone was gonna mesh well with each other, but they did, and now we have this group, and it's crazy how when you introduce people to other people, they just get along so well, and I feel like that's a little unique to Liberty. Meeting other people's friends is a really great way to make your friends.
yeah, I feel like that is a big thing at Liberty, just because I feel like everyone has like a common ground, just the fact that they chose to be at a Christian university.
When you're going to a Christian school, the best way to make friends is seriously just be open to everyone. Be friendly, be loving to everyone. If someone's not a Christian, pour into them. I had a really good friend. She was not a Christian.
The nice thing about Liberty is most of the people are Christians there. Obviously not everybody's going to be a Christian at Liberty, but most people are going to share the same morals and values as you and also be a Christian. So typically you won't have to worry about that, and then you can just worry about getting to know amazing brothers and sisters in Christ that also have the same interests as you.
So I feel like everybody at least has one thing in common, so that's why people are like more inclined to like mesh well together. Like the past schools I've been at have not really been like that, so it is something that's very unique to Liberty.
And that's on Liberty. Facts.
The more the merrier, you know?
Facts.
Don't be shy.
The best way to make friends at LU is to put yourself out there.
Sometimes I would be shy and I would act like I was on my phone when I was like walking somewhere, but other times I wouldn't be, and everybody would like say hi to each other and smile, especially like on my hall when I would go to my room. People would be like coming from their dorm or like leaving their room, and everybody would be so nice, like, hi, like, how are you?
Honestly, reaching out and just going up to someone and just saying hi and introducing yourself.
Say hey. That's the thing. You walk by someone at Liberty and you say hey, they're gonna say hey back. It's not like they're gonna be like,
people are so nice at this university that no one's gonna like stop you from having lunch with them. They really aren't. They'll gladly let you sit down. Just strike up a conversation with anyone. You don't know what's gonna happen. I met my best friend because I saw that he was wearing a UNC Chapel Hill hoodie on the second day of school. So I just sat down next to him, had a conversation with him, and now we're partners on the same dorm for Resident Shepherd. So you never know what's gonna happen. Just put your heart out there. You know what I mean?
My biggest thing is just say hi to everybody. Just everything. Just be yourself and try to be as outgoing as possible. So just compliment somebody. Like for example, I like Disney. If you see somebody that has a Disney shirt on, be like, hey, nice shirt. Maybe you guys can connect over something as silly as that. Or just say hi to somebody on the bus. You never know where you can meet different people.
And like that's how you make friends, is like you go out there and you do things. Don't hide in your room. Just
don't do what I did and just hang out in your room. Especially if you're in the commons, really take advantage of the common area.
So just go out there and just be who you are, and just don't be afraid of being rejected, because I promise you won't be.
I think that you need to be open to anybody. The best way is just be open, be yourself. I know that sounds cliche. Try to find people who will pour into you. Try to find people who are going to encourage you to grow in the Lord, because that essentially is part of why you're there. It's yes, you're there to get a degree, but you chose Liberty for a reason, probably because it was a Christian school. So make sure you're surrounding yourself with people who will help you do that.
I know for me personally, my mom reached out to the Liberty Parents page, and next thing I know, there's like 10 people knocking on my door wanting to be friends with me and like getting lunch with me and stuff. So that was really fun. I would just say, be you. Just reach out to others. Don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone and to be you. And you'll make a lot of friends very fast. It's a very welcoming community, a very welcoming school. So I definitely like that.
You just gotta put your heart out on a stick and, talk to people.
My friend Gabby and I, how we kind of like connected is we love to go to ice hockey games together. So just like you'll just meet people based on things like that, and then slowly form your friend group of people that you have things in common with. And then another thing that I like to do, how I met some of my other friends, is we all like to watch Disney movies together.
I think another way that was kind of helpful for me was just social media. Like when I figured out I was going here, I looked up the location of Liberty and found a bunch of girls on there, or there's Facebook pages like based on what year you're gonna graduate you can meet people on. Definitely social media is really helpful in making friends here, which I've never made friends like on social media before, so it's definitely a different experience for me, but a good one. Like I met Christina through DMs and on Instagram. That's my bestie gal, so that's my best friend.
The next thing that I know a ton of people want to know, which I kind of was interested in too, is what do people do at Liberty for fun if there's not like a party culture and if there's like all kinds of these roles and stuff. Basically, I found that there's so much stuff to do, like whether it be not so much in Lynchburg, but just like Liberty itself has a ton of stuff to do, and you can also find stuff to do in Lynchburg and the surrounding areas obviously too.
Liberty does a great job of hosting different events.
Student Activities is a group of students who put on a bunch of events. So you will get an email every week, and that email will have a list of student activities that are going on for that specific week. So there's open mics.
They'll do bingo nights, they'll do lots of concerts.
There's student concerts, they show a lot of movies.
Oh, we also host like movie nights. We'll do like movies on the lawn, or like movies in the pines, or
watch movies on the lawn when they have movie night, like every night. There's always something to do. On-campus recreation, they're always doing something.
There's trivia nights,
game nights.
There's bowling on campus. There's ice skating.
Like the gym or the Snowflex.
Since I went there in January, Snowflex is open all year round. It's the snow tubing and skiing place.
Go to the Snowflex, go skiing, go tubing.
But it's actually just kind of like football turf that you like snow tube and ski on, which is kind of cool. And it's free to LU students. We also went ice skating, and that's also free for LU students.
This thing called Coffee House, where it's kind of like a talent show, I guess you could call it, somewhat like a talent show, puts on twice a year.
Watching movies with your friends is really great on the dorm. Going to the game room's a lot of fun. Climbing the tower at night's pretty fun. Going to the football field. And then also just going off campus, going to downtown Lynchburg.
Because outside Commons 3 is like the chill spot. Like everybody's playing everybody's playing spike ball, which is another way to make friends. You just like join a spike ball game. It's a big thing here at LU. Spike ball or die, honestly.
There's a ton of sporting events, so obviously this past winter I went to ice hockey and basketball games, but the basketball games are super fun to go to because our team is really good and football is also really good, so I'm super pumped for football games.
Go to football games. I love basketball games. I love baseball games.
There's lots of sporting events. Liberty is D1. Like literally any sport that you're interested in, we have it, and it's probably Division 1.
East Campus actually has an outdoor pool, which is super close to my apartment, so I really want to go swimming. But a tip, if you are a girl living on East Campus, make sure you bring yourself a one-piece bathing suit because you do have to wear a one-piece there. And also, Liberty has a camp called Camp Hideaway where you can go canoeing, kayaking, paddleboarding, etc. And you also need to wear a one piece there, but it's like a lake and stuff, and I'm really hoping to go there because that sounds super fun.
In terms of like things to do off campus, Boulevard, I guess, called Ward's Road, full of shops and stores that you can go to.
You can walk to like Panera and Starbucks and Walmart if you need to get off campus and you want to just sit somewhere to study. Off campus, there's an ice cream place called Rookies. Everyone at Liberty loves it.
Millie's and Joe Beans.
There's also, I think, a movie theater where it's like only $1 or $2 to see a movie.
Cookout is a big hit for food off campus. I mean, there's lots. There's Cracker Barrel, B-Dubs, Wingstop, Applebee's, Chili's, some Chinese place, Panda Express, but there's another one. Texas Roadhouse, we have that.
Go downtown Lynchburg, which is beautiful.
Talking about events to do downtown.
If you love to take pictures, you like photography, go to downtown Lynchburg. It is absolutely beautiful.
There's a lot of like cool, like historic, thrifty shops, kind of hiking. Coal Mountain and Sharp Top Mountain are both like within an hour of here, so people love to go for sunrise and sunset hikes.
There's so much to do.
Alright, so I am starting to pack my wardrobe for college. My game plan is to take more of the warmer clothes and like a few winter essentials. Not a lot because of fall break, and I know that I will be coming back and then I can swap out my clothes. I'm just literally grabbing everything out of my closet and deciding whether or not I want to take them. This is what I'm starting off with. This is a crop top. I have quite a good number of crop tops, which I'm going to be leaving most behind, but I feel like I have a lot of high-waisted jeans, so having a crop top isn't that bad because where the shirt ends, the pants will meet. I think I'm gonna bring this because it comes up very high, and then my black jeans will meet the rest of the way. This is cute. I know this is really bad lighting, but whatever. I feel like this can stay. Oh, I really don't know how this is all gonna work. I should take this. This is pretty simple. It can go with a lot of things. I should probably leave this one here. Honestly, I don't have that many clothes, but looking at all this and looking at what I have to go through and sort through, it's a lot. I'm gonna bring this workout shirt. I'm gonna leave them on the hangers for now. I bought new hangers today, and I'm gonna show y'all what I got at the store because I got a lot of good stuff. I didn't get any clothes because we on a budget, so yeah. Okay, so I'm like halfway through the bin and I'm doing way better than I thought I was because I've pretty much taken all the clothes that I wanted to take from my closet. Now I have to go through all of these drawers. Oh my goodness. I'm not sure about the whole ring by spring. I'm trying to graduate before I get engaged. If I have a boyfriend and my boyfriend's watching this, okay, thanks. But I think the dating culture is very different than what I've experienced or I've been exposed to because a lot of people casually date where I am, so it's a little different than what I've heard about Liberty. What is the preconceived notion in your head on dating at Liberty?
I don't really know what to expect. I mean, I've watched a lot of videos.
Are you open to a boo thing?
Yeah.
I think that it's kind of like harder, I guess you can say, just because everyone says, you know, dating culture at Liberty is kind of weird. I think it's really cool when you find someone you know that's the, you know, person for you, especially, you know, just because God leads you towards them.
I'm probably not gonna get booed up, but
Woo, guys. So singleness, pretty awesome, pretty rad.
Another big question is, what is like dating culture at Liberty, and like, is ring by spring a thing? Like, why is there so much pressure around dating?
What is the dating culture like at Liberty? We gotta talk about it.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
What is the dating culture like at LU?
The dating culture.
Oh gosh, dating culture.
Great question.
What's the dating culture like at LU?
I'm single. I can't really talk about dating culture. I went on 1 or 2 dates my freshman year.
So the thing with dating culture at Liberty is people definitely are like in it for the long haul, which is really good. They're into like Christian dating, and they really do want to find their person and devote their whole hearts to them and just grow closer to God and then grow closer to each other, which is the way that I think it should be done.
I do notice that a lot of people do get engaged and married like pretty young from what I'm used to here. I do think a lot of girls here are looking for a relationship, and not only but like a husband.
They're just really, there's not really a hookup culture at Liberty, which is so good.
We definitely have the dating going on, and the girls, ring by spring. There you can have a lot of people that are just like guy friends and girlfriends, and I don't really feel pressured to settle down either, or like I have to have a boyfriend right now. Like,
It's definitely interesting because ring by spring is definitely, it's definitely a thing.
Ring by spring definitely is a thing.
Ring by spring, which is actually a real thing, and I didn't know that. Apparently, if you get married and you both go to Liberty, it's one tuition. So, you trying to only pay one tuition, go get that ring on your finger. Ring by spring, you know what I'm talking about? Or like my psychology professor said, got him by autumn.
Dating at LU is very unique, I would say. There's a lot of people who are homeschooled or don't have a lot of experience with dating and stuff, mixed in with people who have a lot of experience with dating. It can be kind of awkward sometimes.
If I had to give one advice, don't be the typical Liberty girl or guy. I'm not trying to be married, but it's typically the Liberty girl who comes in freshman year, first semester, looking for a boyfriend to have that ring by spring. Like, just because he said hey to you doesn't mean that it's God's plan for y'all to date, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's very interesting. There's a thing called LU crushes. People post crushes and like a description of a person that they saw walking down the sidewalk, and they're like, if you see this, comment so that I know who you are. And like,
or like my friends who found girlfriends at the first semester, or not first semester, like second semester, first year, they're still doing good. But if you're a freshman, I mean, hey, you might find the right person right away. Yeah, there you go.
I don't know. Ring by spring is a real thing around here. People will get engaged in like less than 6 months, and it's, in my opinion, is kind of nuts. But hey, I mean, go for it.
I mean, of course, you're going to have those people that are looking for relationships. You're going to have those people that play you. You're going to have the people that do all that, which, yeah. But yeah, ring by spring. There's actually a sign that's on College Drive. I can't believe it's on there. And it's a ring company off campus. And they literally, their slogan is ring by spring.
I think a lot of times people fall into the ring by spring pressure because of the whole abstinence aspect of Liberty and like really the Christian faith, but Liberty like really tries hard to enforce that as much as they can.
Oh, do you feel pressure to settle down in terms of getting married? No.
There's definitely people who are under the impression that they have to just be engaged or be dating someone seriously by a certain age.
When I was telling people I was coming to Liberty, a lot of them mentioned like, oh, so-and-so found their spouse, or oh, maybe you'll find your spouse, or blah, 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 blah. And I just think it's funny because it's like just something that's like, I don't know the right word, but like at a Christian school, people just assume like you're gonna find your spouse. And I feel like it's kind of like pressuring.
The culture at Liberty is just very much like, yes, you need a degree, but you also need to find someone to marry. And that's just, if you think that let me tell you, that's not the case. You know, God's timing is essentially what you need to be focused on. You don't need to be focused on like, hey, I'm 22 and I'm not engaged yet. Like, oh no, I'm running out of time. Like, that's absolutely false.
Yeah, there definitely is like the expectation that you will get married by the end or be in a serious relationship by the end of your time here.
The culture at Liberty, or even just society in general, don't let that pressure you into doing something that, you know, the Lord and you both know that you're not ready for. I'm not saying ring by spring, like every person at Liberty is, you know, so into dating. Like, that is not the case at all, but it does exist. You know, that was the question. Is it a thing? Yes, it is.
You might have that one crazy guy or crazy girl come up, like y'all start talking or something, you go on one date and they're like, oh, it's meant to be. And if that's the case, get out of there, because that's kind of weird. There's that ring by spring that everyone talks about, and it's definitely a joke on campus. But no, there's no pressure, nothing like that.
I think that everyone's really respectful when it comes to dating. I think people might shoot the gun too quick when it comes to dating at Liberty, because they'll find someone like the second week they're there, and then they're engaged, and then they're married like a year later. I think that everyone kind of goes in kind of looking for their future mate, but I don't necessarily think that's supposed to happen no matter what. I think everyone should really just focus their freshman year on growing closer to God. It's not dating for fun. I think it's really dating for looking for a wife in the future. So I think that's really respectful, and I do not think that ring by spring is really a thing. I think that people might kind of shoot the gun a little bit. Don't be scared to talk to someone. Don't be scared to ask someone on a date.
So people talk about the ring by spring type thing, and I feel like that's more of a joke than a serious type thing. The dating life, our campus pastor says 80% of Liberty students find their soulmate.
Is there a party culture?
Any school where there is 13,000, 15,000 people, there will always be that. Okay? There's always going to be cliques. There's always going to be a party culture.
And yes, there's a party culture, like if you're into that stuff, like of course.
Liberty has its people that like to party.
Yeah. Definitely not as much as at other schools, for sure.
It is very, like, a lot less common at Liberty. You know, obviously, if most people who are going to a Christian school, they're not going to be like, oh, you know, let's party, you know.
And Liberty sure knows how to have a good time with clean parties, I guess I would say. They, like I said earlier, they do a lot of events for us on campus. But yeah, I mean, if you want to, like, party, like, as in terms of like other schools' definitions of partying, there is that, but you have to go off campus.
Just not on campus. I mean,
if you want to find somewhere to party, you can find somewhere to party anywhere you are. I mean, you have Lynchburg College right across the street, so like if that's what you're coming to Liberty to look for, like you can find it, but it's probably going to be a little bit harder.
I've heard stories though. I mean, it can get pretty crazy, but it's not like most schools.
If you party, you kind of want to keep it quiet because you know a lot of people just aren't like that. I mean, you could definitely find it, but it's definitely not like the thing to do that people talk about.
Like that's another stereotype of like Liberty. Like, oh, everyone that goes to Liberty is goody, or everyone that goes to Liberty is a strict Christian. Like, no, it's honestly just like every other school.
I would suggest not doing that. Not only because it's against the rules of our university.
You could get in trouble. I mean, you could get in trouble if you're caught drinking.
But it's also just not really ethical for us, you know, to drink at under age of 21. I think that every school has its partiers, but I definitely wouldn't want to get involved with that. I think that parties with Martinelli are just as fun as parties with alcohol. So
I will say, you don't have to party to have fun, and that's another thing that Liberty is really cool about. Is like you can have fun with your friends and not go party. You know, it's just something like that. I mean, if you really want to, people can go off campus. A lot of people go off campus and party there and stuff like that. But I mean, there's Halloween parties. We do definitely have Halloween parties every weekend, like type of thing. No.
Be aware that yes, it is there. It is just a lot less prevalent, which is comforting, right?
I think that Liberty is going to be a place where I will grow a lot in my faith. I've already done so much growth and I've gained a lot of knowledge and insight, and I've been reading a whole lot more of the Bible.
How has your faith been influenced since going to LU? And learn more about God and like who He is as my Father.
Really, my faith has been influenced a lot by LU. It's encouraging, it's inspiring, you know that
students who grow in their walk with the Lord, like, absolutely. Emphasize enough, just make sure you're surrounding yourself with people who are...
Y'all, good morning. It is moving day.
My faith's been really influenced by LU because
I mean, yeah, he's pretty cute, but like, I'm working some other angle.
You might find somebody that you can talk to and open up to about it, and
just the faith, it's all around. It's kind of the center of the school. Any advice for incoming students?
Making sure that I have all of my belongings that I'm bringing with me to school. Rock Coffee is some of the best coffee on campus. They have Dunkin' and they have Starbucks, but like...
Everything that I do should really exemplify the life and work of Jesus Christ. So
hopefully I can make friends tomorrow and meet people.
Any new student, like whether you be a transfer or you just be somebody that's graduating high school and deciding to go to Liberty, they want to get to know you, they do want to be your friend, you just have to
be ready for the time of your life.
And Jesus said amen.